G'day folks, welcome back to Enshrouded and welcome back to Wistful Fields. As you can see back there, we are making some pretty decent headways on our next build. We do have some stuff to complete, the roof namely, but I believe I should have all of the materials to complete that, and hopefully we'll be able to then divide the space in the attic, and then we'll sort of be done with the majority of the build. I suppose I do need to put a roof over this section here, the nook section, so we'll definitely do that as well if we can in this episode. But yeah, let's maybe get started and let's see how far we can get. So I believe what we've managed to do at the very least is do a double roof on that side. We probably haven't really done a double roof on this side, or have we? Oh, no, we have. We've done the double roof on this side as well. Probably only a single roof. Oh, actually, we've doubled some parts, but we probably do need to just work on doubling things up on this side. So let's try our best to achieve what we're trying to achieve here. So I don't think it's going to take us too much longer to build out the roof, and then we can move on to, I would say, some more fun aspects of the entire build, and that is actually to see if we can start decorating on the inside. I want to get some doors in this episode where possible, because I feel like if there's anything preventing me from putting people into their actual rooms, it would probably be just, you know, whether or not I have a door blocking off each of those rooms. And also, well, I do need beds as well, don't I? So I better get some beds in. I'm gonna need a little bit of height here, so I'm gonna need to make some temporary platforms. So let's just do a few. Hopefully that'll be enough. Okay, looking good. So that's the primary roof done, I hope. I'm just trying to see if there are any, yeah, okay. As I was just about to say, whether or not we have any gaps. But this should be easily fixable. Might want to check on the inside as well to see if we've got any issues there, but it doesn't look like it, so that's fine. And now we sort of need to figure out how the roof is going to play out on this side as well. So let's see. Do we do... I don't know if we should do like smaller pieces to begin with, or if we just go with larger pieces immediately. Also, additionally, I wonder if I should add just a little bit more of a wall, because I feel like if I started the roof right there, this won't really be much of a space in the attic for us. So by adding a small wall up this way, I think we could create a better space. And I might actually do like a different pattern. Maybe we could even go with like conifer. But I just want to check on how conifer wood looks before we commit. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Don't have as much conifer wood though. Or we could go with like refined wood. Something like that, for instance. I know it's called refined wood, but it doesn't really look that nice, does it? Like, it looks really rough. Perhaps maybe the conifer wood is the way to go. I mean, we've already got conifer wood as the floor. Okay, but we are getting that really weird sort of aesthetic on the outside, which I can't say I am a fan of. Those little sort of wooden sort of beams that jut out. So maybe it is a refined wood that I'm going to be using. The question is, how much space do we need? So this will be a bit of a playing around kind of episode to figure out how high we want the room to be, and how high we want the roof to go as well. Are we happy with that? I'm not entirely sure, actually. It will give us enough space. Might just play around with adding the other side and seeing whether or not we're happy with what we see. Like so. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. Or we could go slightly higher. I might need to create a bit of a gap here if we're going to match this side. But let's not worry about that for now. Let me just have another play around. But if I add, say, a couple more blocks worth of height, like so. So that's roughly how much space we'll have to work with. Which, actually, I don't really mind it. So I think maybe I'm going to go with that height. I think it makes sense, considering the height of a person in this game. The next thing is just making all of this a reality. So let's start with fixing up the roof a little bit. Particularly on this side, so maybe I can go block by block. Just to help with accuracy. So I think that's fine, and that's looking good as well. Let me remove these. Okay guys, so things are looking pretty good, although I'm a little bit confused because I'm not getting that same aesthetic that I usually get at the very top of the roof for this one. I'm not entirely sure what I've done wrong here, so I might need to sort of play around with this a little bit. Yeah, I think it could have something to do with the way the two pieces are aligned from each side. I'm getting the aesthetic right there, but then, yeah, I'm a little bit confused here. So I'm going to spend maybe a little bit of time trying to correct that, but if we don't get it right in this episode, that's fine. We can always sort of come back to it once I've sort of figured things out a little bit more. But yeah, so the whole idea is that it should be sitting... Yeah, okay, like that. So we need to actually keep a free space on the top, come to think of it. So that should be where that one ends, and then we bring this... Yeah, okay. Oh, hang on. No, that's not quite right. Ah, okay. I think I see what the problem is. I don't think we'll be able to get that aesthetic, to be honest. Just because of the exact position of where the center is on this roof, I don't think we'll be able to achieve it. Okay guys, so I think what I'll do is I'll actually leave the nook and the roof over the nook for a little bit later, because I think I do want to move on to dividing the space, at least in the attic. And then we can start thinking about getting beds for everyone, and then doors. I will play around further with the roof to see if I've made a mistake somewhere, and then we'll sort of try and address that in the next episode. But yeah, for now, again, probably going to use a bit more of our refined wood, or I could perhaps go with conifer wood to see if I can divide the space a little bit. Maybe the refined wood is better, just considering what we've used for the nook, and I think it'll match, obviously. I might be able to just plug up this little gap here, just so that it's not too jarring. But we might need, like, more of the roof pieces just in the corners and stuff like that. We'll have to sort of play around with that a little bit. And over here, I suppose what I want to do, really, is to be able to match where the walls are from down below. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll do something like that. Whoops. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. I can't really get the right angle that I want. Maybe do I go with a bigger piece? Like that, for instance. Okay, so that's kind of decent. The question is, do I leave this as a single room? It is quite spacious if you think about it, being in the attic, if we did that. But I think I can get away with dividing this into two. And then what I might do with this side is I could actually leave this open, and this will be like a quasi-storage area. Again, it really depends on how many people we're going to need to house in the end. Because if I need the space, then I may as well house people there as well. But what I'm gonna do, though, is just ensure that everything is nice and set up here. So let's plug all of the gaps. Like so. Probably need the same pieces to go up that way. I probably need something to prop myself up, though. Maybe over there. Done. Okay, and then to divide the space, though. So if we were halving the entire space, how would we go about doing that? Yeah, I've actually not really thought too much about that. And I've always sort of thought, you know, between episodes when I'm sort of thinking about this build is, you know, like, whether or not this space is just simply going to be a single bedroom. But I think it makes sense for us to divide the space a bit more. The real problem is... well... there's no center line in which I can place down a block or a wall and not divide the spaces into two different sizes. So I'm wondering if I should put a thicker wall. It looks a little jarring though, doesn't it? Having a very thick wall here. Perhaps what we could do is we could do a thick wall, but then we could sort of carve out some parts of the wall for things like shelves and stuff. I think that makes a bit of sense. That way no one's getting more space than one another. And we're still utilizing the space very well. Or I'd like to think that we are. So, I'm probably going to need to make some more of these blocks very soon, but let's just see how far we can get. Okay, done. So that's looking good. We probably just need an additional doorway. Yeah, I don't even know if the doorway that we made initially for the other side is really in the right spot. So hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just make sure it's in the same spot here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. Whether or not the doorway is maybe too big, too small, we'll probably figure that out later when we're starting to place actual doors down. So I guess the next question is, what kind of walls do we want on the outside? And what do we want visible, you know, from externally? I suppose what we've got going in most of the other homes is... oh god. Refined wood as well. But I'm just gonna double check. I think on this side, because we've got this bespoke, you know, window, we've used like roof pieces. And then here, yeah, we've used refined wood. I think refined wood goes well. I don't know if I'm going to be doing some bespoke windows just yet. I mean, considering there are people living on either side of the attic here, on this side, we probably won't, and we'll just have normal windows. But on the other side, where there's storage, we could perhaps maybe do that. So let's maybe commit to putting a wall in this section, and then we'll come back to the other side and decide what we want to do. But if we're going to do this, though, I probably do need the refined wood right now, or the refined wood blocks. So I can't remember what we need for it, but perhaps maybe we're going to need some wood planks. We'll need some wood planks for some of the doors that I want to make for it as well, so it's a good thing that we've got quite a bit. Refined wood blocks. Okay. Not nearly enough of those wood planks, so let me just grab a couple more batches, I reckon. Maybe that much for good measure. Alright guys, so things are looking pretty nice here in the attic. We probably do need to just get a little bit of lighting in here, so maybe instead of lighting actually, come to think of it, we probably should just get the right position for some windows, because that'll let a little bit of light in. So let's go with that sort of position there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 each from the central wall. And if we need to move it, we'll do that, but that should give us a little bit of that lighting that we need. And I'm just gonna top that up with some candles as well. So let me just pop in a candle or two. I don't know how I feel about putting the candle like here in the center, just because we're likely to, you know, do stuff with the central wall. Like, we're likely to carve some parts out when we end up sort of decorating the space. But that's looking good, so very happy with that. and I'm very happy with the entire build so far. In fact, I feel like it's almost complete aside from the nook and perhaps maybe the big gaping hole we have that that is on this side for the attic. Again, we'll cross that bridge when we need to and when I decide on whether or not we're doing something special for the window. I think it's time to place down a few like doors and stuff, wouldn't you think? So once we get that in, actually maybe not doors, maybe we get the beds in. Maybe that's a better start. So as I said, I think we're going to need a lot more of the wooden planks and stuff, so let's just grab some of that and then we'll have a chat with Cade and we'll see what kind of beds we can start working on. Again, don't know how many we need, but I'll put a bed in every single room that's going to be a bedroom. I guess we should go with the ornate wooden beds. Come to think of it, we probably do need a few more resources here, so... yeah, we need some of this. Dried furs. We are actually running out of salt, so I might need to get some salt between episodes to make some more.
Care to look at my craft?
Or we could do the stone beds. I could put like some stone beds in the basement, so I think it sort of just matches the look a little bit. And then maybe some, you know, ornate beds elsewhere. But yeah, let's do... how many rooms do we have in the basement? I think we've got like 4, so let's do that. And then we've got another 4. Oh, I'm out of nails.
Watch out for splinters. Speak up.
Okay, that should do it. At least for a while.
Make yourself at home.
No slots available in the backpack. Okay, we are full up. That's fine. We can... actually, one thing that I could do is I could transfer over some of the wooden planks and nails and stuff like that in here. It's always a constant juggle of stuff, isn't it? So let's put more stuff in here, maybe even the dried furs, and the nails. We have a spot for nails, maybe. I think the nails can go together with the metal scraps, and that should give us the space that we need. Fired bricks, I could just put that back into the kiln, I reckon.
Hey!
Oh, okay, and I'm already out of clay again. Goodness me, it never ends.
Good to see you.
Okay, so with the ornate wooden beds, so I did craft 1. I think I need perhaps maybe another 5.
Good seeing ya.
Do I not have materials? What am I missing? Oh my goodness, plant fibers. I was not expecting that. Well, we're gonna have to go out and find some plant fibers then, but I don't think that's going to be too difficult to do. In fact, I could maybe plant some, like, berries and stuff to get plant fibers that way. I just want to be a little bit careful about harvesting stuff within our own build area. But yeah, I'll do more gathering of plant fibers and stuff in between episodes. For the time being, let's place down some beds. And we may even be able to start assigning people their own rooms. Ooh. I neglected to place down some candles in here. I've only got a few. Might be able to make some more candles. Candle holders. Alright. Beds going in. Again, these guys don't really have a lot of space, do they? I mean... I think that's fine. And, I think everyone will have their beds sort of facing the same way. Why did I think... Oh yeah, this guy. This guy doesn't really have a lot of space at all. Or whoever's gonna stay in here. I feel a little bit sorry for them, but... just place that there for the time being. I know I do need more candles. Should we make candles now? Maybe that's not a bad idea. And I'm probably going to need a few more in addition to the ones that I'm collecting right now. Yeah, for some reason I thought we were dividing each floor into only 4 rooms rather than 6, so my bad. We'll probably need a few more doors, a few more beds, etc, etc. Decorative... Yeah, I don't really have a lot of wax to fuel all of my candles. I feel like Wade seems to be stuck there. What is the deal? He doesn't move. Sorry, not Wade. Cade.
Yoo-hoo! Got my hands full, but what do you need?
Okay, more of these things, please. I guess that should be enough for the time being. Okay, let's keep going. I'm just looking at the space from out here. I feel like I could make an argument for moving the windows up a little higher. I think it would make sense to do that. A little higher and a little bit more to the center. Yeah, corridor is actually a little bit dark, isn't it? Maybe somewhere there and there. Again, I think once we do come back to each and every room to decorate, we'll probably be figuring out a more accurate location for a lot of these candles that we're placing down. I'm not married to their positioning exactly. Okay, so all of these rooms should have what they need. When it comes to lighting, that is, I do need a couple more stone beds. But moving on to the second story, let's place down some beds. And because we've got windows here, I think it makes sense to put the beds facing a different way. Something like that. Makes a bit of sense to me. Okay. Yeah, not bad. But again, I feel like we definitely needed a lot more beds. Let's have a sleep. Gonna have a chat with Cade about doors, I think. I'll see if we can make some doors this episode. But I do feel like we might be wrapping up very soon. Purely for the fact that there's not too much more that I feel like I can do with the materials I have at hand. Might need to grow some berries or something like that. That should help us get some more plant fibers. Actually, you could just grow bushes purely for plant fibers as well, right? So, anyway, Cade, sorry to wake you up so early, my friend, but I do need to take a look at what doors you have and what materials they need. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe the polished wooden doors would go well with the style of building that we have. Otherwise, just these carved wooden doors would do the trick as well, but we'll go a little fancier than that. So resins, nails, hardwood. Resins seem to be the limiting factor, perhaps. But anyway, we've got... Oh, actually, I take that back. So the polished wooden doors would probably suit the basement. So we could probably get like 6 of those. But then everything else, I feel like it needs to be wooden. So we should be able to get, what? I think we need 8, possibly 9, actually.
Anything else?
I just had a thought, but do we have any spare ones that we can simply use? Because I've got a bit of a stash of things that went unused from previous builds, right? So with any luck, yeah, I mean, we've got furnishings, which I am quite sure I should be able to utilize. Yeah, okay, but no doors. So we're going to need to make those doors.
You need my help?
Okay, so I'd say we need possibly 9.
Happy to help.
I may have gone overboard, but we'll see. Yeah, and when it comes to lighting, I feel like there's definitely plenty more lighting that we could get in to make sure that the space is, you know, properly decorated and properly lit. Like more chandeliers and stuff. Yeah, because the common areas definitely look a little dark right now, so... Okay, looking good on the basement. And now, the second story, let's get it done. And this is going to be some kind of a bathroom. I probably don't have the right opening, or the right size of opening here, so let me just fix that up. I think that should do the trick there. Good. And then 2 more, really, just for this space. We're likely going to need another door for this, or we could leave it completely open. That's also an option. Great. Man, things are really coming along, and coming along pretty quickly, so pretty happy about that. Let me do that fixing up that I mentioned. We'll do the other side as well. Alright, there we go. Looking pretty good. Oh, here comes the rain. Let's just inspect this from the outside once more. Yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense. This is where we're gonna call it an episode for now though, guys. So I've got a lot of pre-work to do between the next episode. Going to try and figure out the problem with the roof over in this little nook over here to see if we can get the right aesthetic. And aside from that, I'm gonna need, you know, fibers, wax, plenty of other stuff. Salt to try and make those dried furs as well. Yeah, plenty of stuff to do. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this one. As usual, drop me a like if you did, a dislike if you didn't. Some comments down below if you want to get in touch. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.